All right, I believe we can start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our next webinar in 2022. My name is Ben. I'm a product manager at Openprovider. Today's event is organized together with our partner, BuildMyLogo, represented by Sridhar, founder and CEO at BuildMyLogo. Hi, Sridhar. How are you today?
I'm good, Ben, and thank you guys for having me over here. It's a lot of fun working with you guys, and hopefully we can help share some good insights on logos.
Oh, great. We share the feeling as well. Thank you very much for kind words. So today we'll show you BuildMyLogo Logo Builder, how this tool can enhance your offer to your customers, increase your revenue, and of course, boost your customer satisfaction. Our guest will also show you a quick demo with some tips and tricks how to build great logo types. And before we actually head into the presentation, a few housekeeping things. The webinar will last for around 30 to 40 minutes, depending how many questions we'll have at the very end. And yes, there will be a Q&A session at the end, so you can post your questions during the webinar whenever you can and you want, and we'll just answer them at the end of webinar. Yeah, so without further ado, Sridhar, the stage is yours. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi guys, it's really awesome to sort of be here and be doing this. Usually most of the presentations that I've been used to sort of making have all been in public, where I have to wear pants, maybe a shirt, etc. But this is a way more comfortable way of making a presentation. Thank you, Openprovider, the entire team for for arranging this, and thank you to all the attendees who've been able to make it over here today. I'm going to start off with just giving you all a little bit of background. Look, I believe today that as we are growing our businesses, whether we be web professionals or if we're web hosts, etc. Right? As we're growing our businesses, it's very important for us to be able to look at various different other products or services that we can plug into our and expose to our network to be able to sort of build better revenues and to be able to grow even faster. Right? I believe logos is one of the perfect sort of add-on products to domains, hosting, and websites. So let me actually start off with understanding the need for logos, right? And if you look at the domains and hosting market today, now the first stat is actually from a VeriSign industry brief, which basically states that there are 341 million or 341.7 million domains across all TLDs as of Q4 2021. With a 1% quarter-on-quarter growth and a 0.5% year-on-year growth, right? So that's the way domains as a whole have been growing, right? Now, through some amount of research that I have done personally and with my teams, etc., we believe that 40% of all domains are actually hosted or have websites today. The rest are either parked or have forwards, etc., or are basically dead domains where they're not really pointing to anything, right? Now, over the last few years, we've seen products like email hosting and site builders actually become full-fledged revenue streams for a lot of providers. I have run hosting companies, domain name registrars before this as well, and I know what my focus was in terms of domains, hosting, etc., and then how we basically look at some of these add-on products. But today, these add-on products are actually huge revenue earners for hosting providers, etc. The biggest customer segment today is the small and medium businesses segment, right? And that could be either directly, where they're actually coming and buying a lot of these products directly, or by acquiring services from web pros who in turn buy these products and services, right? So if we are able to establish that we're basically dealing with SMBs, then let's talk about the first piece in terms of being able to grow your business, right? If you're a web hosting provider or a web professional, you have an extremely captive base, right? You have people who have, some amount of buying power. You have people who are actually looking at, consuming various different tools for their products and services. But the only ones that are being offered are the ones highlighted, right? But what could actually be offered to them is a much wider variety, a much wider set of products and services. And maybe if you are a web designer, developer, or somebody who's offering IT services to your customers, maybe you are doing some of this already, right? Maybe you are sort of picking up these products, adding a service and offering it to your customers. But the opportunity to be able to offer more and more products is extremely high, right? And like I said, logos is just one of these products that makes sense, right? Now, why do I feel SMBs are extremely important for all these products and services? Because 400 million exist globally, right? And remember, I said that 341 million domains exist. 40% might be hosted. That means that there are a huge number of companies that have, or SMBs that haven't even actually started getting online. So there's a lot of scope for growth in general, and especially with a logo maker as well, right? This also means if you actually take the overall population of the world and divide it by the number of SMBs, this means 1 out of every 20 people who's the owner of an SMB, right, would consider building a website, would consider at any point in time, even getting a logo, etc. Right? And SMBs are generally owner dependent and tightly budgeted firms. A lot of times there'll be a lot of negotiation, etc. But at the same time, they have a definite need to be able to differentiate themselves, to be able to build brand loyalty, and from a logo's perspective, to have something as basic as printing their business cards. And why logos for SMBs? Because it's a $30 billion market. There are SMBs that will even pay $500 for a logo or upwards, right? Logo related keywords. And this is really, one of the things that had me excited the most about logos as a product, right? It has 4x the volumes of domains, hosting, and website keywords combined. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move ahead, right? A logo is actually considered as probably the first and most basic essential item for an SMB, right? Whether they actually set up a website or they don't, right? A logo comes before anything else. And what does that mean? That means that it could also act as the perfect transition for you as a web professional or a web hosting provider to be able to offer that service and then look at getting that customer to build more stuff through you, or buy more products and services through you. And this is what I mean, right? I'm just, to graphically illustrate it. It's once an SMB picks their brand name, the first thing that they probably consider doing is actually getting a logo designed. And then there are a bunch of other things, and websites and a web presence comes much later, right? But the need for a logo arises early. And in this journey, it could also arise frequently, because there are a lot of people that look at redesigning their logos as well, right? And like I said, logo customers means a natural progression towards a lot of other products that could be upsold with higher ROI, and obviously because of recurring billing. So this is the point I was trying to make earlier, right? Logo related keywords. And when I say logo related keywords, I'm not talking about the term logo and anything associated with logo. I'm talking about terms like logo maker, logo creator, logo design, maybe logo builder. These sort of keywords and variations of those actually have 4x the search volumes compared to domains, hosting, and website related keywords globally, and compared to domains, hosting, and website related keywords combined, right? So logos, 4x of all of these keywords combined. And these are some of the actual search volumes that you'll see in different countries, right? So India is, obviously one of the big countries, where these logo related keywords are searched. So, if you are in India and you're wondering if this product is, meant for Indians, etc., I will admit that sometimes conversions might be slightly lower over there in a market like India, but just the amount of search that takes place makes it that much more interesting. And obviously you've got, various different European countries, you've got obviously, USA, Canada, etc. as well. And they all have significant numbers in terms of logo searches. But if we were to just look at the logo searches, maybe the next question that you might ask is that, okay, but it might still be difficult to acquire a customer through logo searches, right? And the funny part is, it's actually not. And logo related keywords pretty much acts as a hidden gem, because not only do you have 4x the volumes, you can actually acquire customers at 1/4 the cost of what it would take to acquire a customer that through maybe domain names. As you can see, there are average monthly search volumes for various keywords related to logos and related to domain names, and what is the top of page low range and high range bids that are made on each one of them. It is much cheaper to actually try and acquire a logo customer. One of the reasons for this is because logos typically tend to be one-time billing products or just one-time payment products, right? But when we're talking about web hosts, when we're talking about web professionals trying to optimize and trying to even use this to some extent, right? We're talking about you guys being able to add a huge bunch of recurring billing products and services once a customer has bought a logo, right? So not only is it much cheaper to acquire, but you could even look at spending on the higher side and still being extremely ROI positive over a period of time. So, we've covered logos, the amount of search that exists for logo maker related keywords, but really the need for a logo maker is in its actual use itself, right? Now, whether you're a web pro who's doing this on behalf of a customer, right? Or, or maybe if it's a customer that's basically looking at, following a bunch of steps while talking to somebody, this is what actually happens, right? As a web pro, you're evaluating the brand, you're researching the industry, you're basically understanding where the logo is going to be used. You're then going to create various different concepts. You're going to create a lot of digital drafts. You're going to refine it based on feedback that you're getting. You're going to then prepare, some amount of final logos, build out color variations, and do a lot of different things, right? And I guarantee you, if you're a web pro, some of y'all can relate to this. By the end of it, you might actually have customers that will back out and say, you know what, I don't think I'm interested. And that happens all the time. And the time taken to do this is actually it's pretty long. It takes a few days to a few weeks, right? So the need for a logo maker comes here. You don't actually need to do all of this, right? What you could, actually do, or what the steps could be, is you enter your brand name in a logo maker, right? Check out hundreds of options in terms of layouts, fonts, etc. Shortlist and review the ones that you like, right? You could even take screenshots of this and just send it to your customers and ask them, okay, if you had to pick 2, or if you had to pick 3, or if you just had to pick 1, what would you pick? And I can work on that, right? You can then look at making extremely simple edits. In fact, I wouldn't say simple edits, I'd say comprehensive edits in an extremely simple manner. And I'll come to that. And once you're done with, what your customer wants, you can literally download everything from the original colors and variations in vector formats and PNGs, all sorts of different sizes for different properties. So, if you want to basically put this on social media, if you want to look at printing it on stationery, there are various different sizes available. Obviously, business card designs are given as well. And all of this, right, you download it and, it's ready once you've finalized the logo design in a matter of seconds. So the entire process of creating a logo on a logo maker can take 3 minutes, right? And I mentioned 3 minutes to an hour because if you have to go back and forth with your customer, it might take more time. But for those who know what they want, or in case a web host is looking at this and says that, okay, can my customer do this themselves? Yes, absolutely, right? So these are the steps involved in using a logo maker over custom designing, right? So why does this work for web pros and web hosts? For web pros, like I said, it's faster order completion, right? You are saving tons of time, which means you're probably saving on your staff bandwidth, on making sure that your designer or you yourself are not spending a lot of time in actually trying to build out a lot of these concepts, etc. And thereby saving money, because that money, that the time saved, either of your designer or of yourself, could go in actually taking up another project which pays a lot more, right? You also cater to every type of customer, including those that might actually be slightly more price sensitive, etc. For web hosts, utilization is equal to renewal. So once you have a product that you know your customer is utilizing, you know that it can actually lead to you upselling and getting other products and services being used by that customer as well. But just utilization alone would mean that those customers, once they do in fact buy other products and services, you're going to have far lesser churn, right? And obviously, like I said, better upsell as well. For all businesses, if you're a web professional or if you're a web hosting provider, this is an instant high profit product with little to no additional support. We literally do not even get 0.5 or 0.7% of our customers to come back with any support requirements, right? So it's got virtually no support. And if there is any support that needs to be provided, we at BuildMyLogo can do that as well, or will do that in fact. So yes, like I said, I own and operate, or actually, like Ben said, I'm the founder and CEO of BuildMyLogo. BuildMyLogo is a logo maker that has partnered with Openprovider, and we'll come to the partnership as well. But before that, I thought maybe we could actually just cover a few stats about BuildMyLogo. It's in about 2 years' time, we've had, you know, we've started working with over 700 channel partners. We have 80,000 customers. We only work with partners. So we don't actually go out there and optimize our site for SMBs to be able to contact us directly or to be able to use us directly. We work exclusively with partners, and that's how we've really grown, you know, in this process, right? Our conversion rate for, you know, partners who send us paid customers is 8.64%, which is massive because your industry average, well, at least for a blended rate, for blended customers is about 0.95%, and ours with free and paid customers is 2%. Now, why do we convert as well as we do? It's because, you know, when you're looking at SMBs, and, you know, this is why I need to sort of, you know, always set the base in terms of this is a product for SMBs. SMBs are people who are owner dependent, and they're not people who are going to spend lavishly in terms of their marketing. And they're not even always extremely good at marketing. Of course, some of them might be, I'm not taking anything away from them, but a lot of them tend to, you know, within their brand name itself, actually put down their entire business description. So I have a customer called Carlos Barbosa, Landscaping and Gardening Services. That's his brand name. That's, you know, 5, 6, 7 words, right? Why? Because, you know, he wants to make sure that whenever a customer looks at, you know, his logo, right, they know exactly what he does, because he doesn't have the time to just take one word and really make it stand for something, or, you know, maybe the resources. So what tends to happen as a result of this is that 70% of the searches for logos or, you know, brand names that are, you know, put into BuildMyLogo are actually 3 or more words, right? So the one thing that we try and do is we want to be, and, you know, we attempt to be the best provider for handling those sort of brand names, right? Longer brand names. What we also do is we have just one step towards actually generating logos. So even if you're a web professional, you know, sometimes if you're using a logo maker, they might have like 5 or 6 different steps. You need to put in your brand name. You then need to put in maybe a slogan. You need to mention the fonts you like, the color combinations you like. We don't do any of that. We take the brand name, we parse it, we make sure that the logos look relevant just based on the brand name, and then we sort of show results, right? Obviously, the logos, we're one of the only ones that have logos available in all Latin-based languages, and of course, English as well. And some of our monograms and icons are actually unique because they are handcrafted. And over and above that, we actually, you know, with most logo makers, they'll use one image library. We actually use multiple image libraries to be able to provide more variety in terms of the icons or the images that exist in logos, right? So let me jump quickly into, you know, a demo. So, you know, if you click on the link that, you know, that's available within the Openprovider panel, you'll actually land on this page. Now, if you're somebody that's looking at buying, you know, multiple logos, etc., you have to always start off with the first one, right? So I'm going to go with a brand name. Yeah, so Frodo is my little dog's name. And he's sleeping right near my feet right now. So, it's the first thing that came to my mind. So I'm going to go with Frodo's Doggy Cafe, right? And I've not put in a slogan right now. When I hit on create logos, so it'll parse that brand name. It's going to probably take doggy. It's probably going to take cafe, and it's going to mix and match a few things, and give us some combinations. Now, if you are a power user, just as these logos load, probably take a second or two more. But if you are a power user, right, then you could actually choose to do this in a different way as well. Okay, I think I must have this, the session must have expired. Let me just try this once more. Yeah. I've been preparing for a while, and the session must have expired over there. I'm sorry, a little embarrassing, but it's actually a good thing in a way. Let me do this again. And this time we're going to see the logos much faster. But now if you are somebody who's, who has a very long brand name, and you want to actually try and, make sure that the prominent part is presented on top, right? There we go, right? So one, you'll see about 100 results that show up at one time. So it takes about 10 to 12 seconds for the results to show up, but you'll see various different sizes, etc., showing up. Now, what you could do over here, firstly, is pick the ones that you want and shortlist them, right? So you could take this, maybe you like something, with just the F, something that's a little more abstract. You could shortlist these. Now your shortlisted logos are actually available over here. Now let's say you actually want Frodo to be, in center, and the focus. You'll see that over here. You'll see Frodo's Doggy Cafe, etc. But an alternative you could try is to basically take Frodo and leave that in the brand name and add your slogan, add Doggy Cafe in the slogan. Now, when you do that, you might also have to mention maybe dog or pet or something like that within the image. But this could also give you a bunch of other results, which might make sure that your Doggy Cafe is in slightly smaller font, it's perfectly aligned, etc. So this is again a pro tip for anybody that's looking at using this tool to its fullest extent. Right now, let's say you like something like this. You can click on edit and review. Now, once you come to edit and review, you're going to see a bunch of very simple options that could be used, right? The first thing that you want to do is actually make sure that you have the right layout that you like. So if you click on layout, you'll see that there are various different options with the same font, colors, imagery, etc. that are available, and they're available without slogan. And let's say if you want to add a slogan, within the logo later, that's available over here as well, right? So I'm happy with this layout. I'll move on to the next piece. Now in the brand name, you could actually choose to change the font completely of, all the words, or you could actually choose to change the font only of the first word, right? And maybe use something like this. Right? You can play around with the font size, with the letter spacing. You could move this up and down, as you want. So this is for side movement. Yep. And you could even reduce the opacity, of your text, etc. Right? Now you could do this, like I said, for each and every word. once you're done with that, you could look at changing your symbol in case you don't like this specific dog. So, we've already sort of pre-filled dog over here. And you could look at changing it to, maybe something like this. And then you can change the color of literally every aspect, right? So I'll tell you one more thing, right? It's most people actually prefer two colored fonts. So, or rather two colored logos. So it's extremely important to keep in mind that if you want to offer something simple and straightforward to your customer, they're probably going to pick something that's basically in dual color, right? Another thing that you could do is, let's say if you want to offer different variations of this particular logo, right? By changing maybe the font or maybe just the color background and offer different color variations. What you could do is you could use the shortlist option over here as well. So let's say I shortlisted this and I then later went and changed the background to something like this. And please don't mind my design skills. I'm just trying to show you the ability of the product. I've shortlisted this again. Now, if I go to the shortlist section, both these options are available. So you can very easily sort of take screenshots and share them with your customer, right? You could even go back to edit from here. And once you do, you'll see that this logo will also appear in different sort of places to sort of show you what the sizes, etc. look like, right? So how would it look on paper bags, social media cuts, t-shirt, business cards, etc. So it gives you or your customer a good idea of what that logo is going to eventually look like. Now, when you hit buy on the next page, you will get two options. And you will get these options only if you're coming from the Openprovider link, right? The Web Pro plan is actually not available, to everybody, but essentially you could choose to buy this logo, separately. And I'm seeing INR pricing because I'm based in India, but it roughly would work out to about $79.99. And with the Web Pro plan, you will get 20 complete logo kits. So essentially every logo works out to be just $4. And, this entire plan is something that you don't need to buy all the logos up front. There is no time limit to this. You can actually buy this as and when you want. So let me just go back to the presentation for a couple of minutes. Right. So I just mentioned that you get a complete logo kit or 20 complete logo kits in a Web Pro plan. In every complete logo kit, what you get is high resolution SVG and PNG files and various different social media sizes. You get a favicon in case somebody wants to use it for their website. You also get business cards, which are actually editable business cards. With most other logo makers, they'll give you business cards, but you need to figure out how to edit it yourself. We offer you a link, in the download package. Once you click on that, you can edit the business cards, whichever design you want. There are multiple designs available as well. And you get a complete brand guide, which tells you the hex codes of the colors used, the fonts used, etc., for you to be able to do, to be able to build other material that you might need to complement your logo. And like I said, there's a partnership that we have going with Openprovider. The partnership is, allows us to exclusively offer this Web Pro package only to Openprovider partners and resellers. Each bulk package, like I said, is offered with 20 complete logo kits. It's available for $79.99, which means that it's $4 for every logo. If you were to buy one logo independently, that would work out to about $39.99. There's absolutely no time limit to redemption. So you can redeem your logos at your convenience whenever required. And another thing that we're doing based on feedback that we've received from Ben and the rest of the team as well, and even some of Openprovider's clients, we're coming out with a 5 logo pack as well, 5 complete logo kits pack. which is so the offer or the options will be 1, 5, and 20. So yeah, that's coming soon as well. So yeah, if you are a web professional that's looking at using the logos, you can click on the Build My Logo link provided by the Openprovider team in the panel. If you're a web host who's interested in this, you could reach out to Openprovider or us for the WHMCS module or API integration as well. We'd love to hear feedback on that as well.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Sridhar. About that previous slide, though, yeah. So, like I mentioned, it's basically one-time fee. You once you pay for your 20 pack, you just get it for unlimited time. Either all the logo types you create will be there forever, and all the logo types that you can still use within this package, you can use for like unlimited time, right? The same will apply for the slower package, which is going to be 5 logo kits in the near future. Right now, like Sridhar mentioned, how you can purchase BuildMyLogo is through our RCP, Reseller Control Panel. You just go there, there is a dedicated menu tab. You're redirected to BuildMyLogo website and just go through the whole building process and payment process there. However, in the future, we are planning to actually do it as a part of our Openprovider API. So if you're already integrated with us, let's say for domains or other products, you'll be able to use API to provision BuildMyLogo as well. If, however, you'd be interested right now to start reselling BuildMyLogo, just contact us directly. We will be sending the summary email, thank you email with the recording after the session, most probably tomorrow or just after the weekend. We'll put there the contact details to me directly as well. So if you'd be interested in start reselling the product right now, then just drop me an email and we'll discuss the options here. We have a question. Can we get the presentation by email? Well, we will have I think we can share the presentation as well, Sridhar. It's up to you, of course, but there will be the recording, right, as well. And if you need some more details that are not included in the presentation, or we just didn't mention during the session, again, there will be my contact detail provided in the email, and I'll just write me a message. I'll be glad to answer all these. Do we have any other questions from our attendees? I think it's a great tool, just to add from my side. It's a great tool, like especially nowadays where a lot of small businesses are running, the business on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. Just, for them starting the journey as a company, their startup, and, not having, funds to actually, do the proper logotypes or, branding materials. That's I think the best option, to start with, and then, generate just the logotype using this tool, and kick off with the brand, in various sales channels.
Can maybe I have a question? I have one question, because when you've been showing the tool, once you selected the logo, on the left side there were some tools. Were they for editing, for like additional editing?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you maybe show us a little bit, how we can edit the logo after its creation? Because I guess many people will want to use this option to, optimize the logo for their needs.
Yeah, so we're actually working to expose, the post-purchase editing piece. At the moment, what happens is that in case a customer wants to edit after they've already created and downloaded the logo, they contact us and we get on a call with them and we sort of do it with them. We actually handhold them through that process. But what we're actually doing is that we're going to make the same edit functionality available even after the logo has been created, for them to be able to edit that logo, etc. The other way in which you could do this, the pro trick for now, is that let me actually just share. So I'm just going to go back So when you're actually downloading the logo, whatever you download would be available in the shortlisted logos section. So if you click on the shortlisted logos section, you'll actually see what you had downloaded earlier. So the reason why you see a second copy of this is because I had manually shortlisted this, but when I hit on buy, this gets auto shortlisted as well. So I can always just edit it from here and then re-download it. In case you see a buy option and you want to sort of change something in your logo, so you just need to download it again, you can just contact us and we make sure that whatever you have edited is available to you as well. This will be automated in about maybe 10 days or so.
All right. Well, my question is about those options on the left side here that I can see.
Okay, yeah, I thought you meant post-purchase.
No. If you could just show around how they work a little bit,
sure.
you know.
Let's actually look at all of these options, right? So the layout switcher is number one, right on top, right? This is what you have right now. You want to change that to, maybe making sure that the image is with reduced opacity at the back. You could do that. You could even move it to a 2-line logo if you want, something like this. Now, let's say we keep the 2-line logo for now, right? If you want to change your brand name, I've already shown you how you can choose either, one of the lines and sort of change it over there, right? Or you can change all of it directly by clicking on, the entire name at the top and then look at changing the font. And now in fonts, we've got multiple different types of fonts. There are about 100 to 200 different fonts actually, but they are divided into sans serif, serif, handwritten fonts and special fonts, right? The special ones are the slightly fancier ones. Everybody doesn't always want this, but in case you've got customers that prefer to be, to have a slightly louder brand, then you could use some of these as well. You can work with letter spacing as well. So your letter spacing would, if you reduce it, I'm doing it for everything. Let's say if I don't want Doggy Cafe to take up the entire line, I can, look at reducing this over here this way. This is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is just reducing the font size. Now the fonts which actually support different weights will also come with it, right? So for example, if the font that we're using right now has a bold version available as well. Now I don't want the entire logo to be bold. I just want a part of it to be bold. So I could select Frodo as I have done over here and click on bold, and that's it, right? Now all these changes that we're making, you can actually see them in real time appearing below as well, just to be able to imagine what the logo would look like in various different ways. And obviously you can then change your positioning. Now, one thing that, I want to tell you about these sliders is sometimes they move, a little bit more or a little bit less than what you want to, right? So pro tip, just click on the slider once and then use your arrow keys to actually move them around. It's much easier and you get better control and precision over what you want to do. In terms of symbol, let's say it's Frodo's Doggy Cafe, but I want to use a symbol which is, let's say, cafe related. I could search for cafe over here, and there are a bunch of options in case I want to change it. Obviously, there's a little bit of resizing that you see. That's basically to make sure that it scales correctly with the image that is being put over here. Right? Now, another thing I might want to do is I might not want to use an image. I might actually just want a monogram. So in this case, the first word is F. So I can just add F over here and it will, give me the results, etc. Let me actually just first move to color as well. So like I was telling you, right, that it's best to actually make sure that your entire brand name is in one color. I've generally seen customers go for that, statistically speaking, with all our customers, etc. You've got, you know, different backgrounds. This inner piece is because the logo that we've selected actually had a container to it as well. So you can change the container color over here. Like I said, everything sort of takes place in real time.
Great, that answers my question. Thank you very much for that. And I see that there is another question in the chat section. Yep. Maybe Benjamin can read it out.
So what about the copyrights of the logos? Is this guaranteed? Is there anything on paper that confirms this? Sridhar, if you could take that one.
Yeah, so we, you know, there is, what we do is we make sure that, so let me explain this, right? In a logo maker, you've got, we're talking to libraries that have about 15 to 20 million images. We're talking about 400 different fonts, and we're talking about, you know, a vast, like maybe about 500 to 600 different predetermined color combinations. And you can then sort of change it to what you want. So first of all, the chances of somebody getting the exact same logo is extremely rare, right? Having said that, you get complete rights for your logo, all right? And, you know, full access. And, you know, when you actually buy it, it's all sort of mentioned within the terms and conditions, etc.
Thanks very much for the answering. All right, thank you very much, Sridhar, for the webinar. It was great, and like I said, the tool looks great, and I think that for small SMBs and our resellers could be a perfect addition, you know, for the business. Like I said at the beginning, we'll be sending the recording and the thank you email within the next couple of days. We'll include the presentation as well as per the question from the chat window. There is the promo. Please remember about that that you can use and buy the package for $79.99. So, well, depending on the region you are from and your currency. And in the near future, we'll be adding that additional package with 5 logo kits and working on hopefully sooner than later, working on the actual integration. Again, if you'd like to start reselling the product right now, then just, you know, drop me an email that will include it in the summary email, and then we can open a, you know, discussion about it and figure out the way for you to do it. Yeah, thank you very much again for participating, and you know, see you later at another Openprovider webinar coming weeks. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.